All right, Larry Krueger from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video on Jordan Mason. And of course, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in Northern California. We're also brought to you by Mojo Fantasy. Mojo Fantasy is the newest and best daily fantasy app. You get a full selection of real sportsbook player props with live odds, including props you won't find anywhere else. You can ride your picks, cash out, or make new picks all game long. And the best part is you don't have to get all your picks right to win. Try a free contest and win cash prizes up to 25 times your money. Make picks, make moves, make money. Use that link in the description. Use the promo code KRUG, K-R-U-E-G, to get your first deposit matched up to $100. How impressive was Jordan Mason in the game against the Cowboys the other night? Wow, he was good. And this is another example of how the Niners are on a different level personnel-wise. What was Jordan Mason? Third-round pick? Nope. Fourth-round pick? Nope. Fifth-round pick? Nope. Seventh-round pick? Nope. Undrafted free agent. Another find for the 49ers after the draft. Now, it's interesting. The Jordan Mason story is really interesting. His college career got off to a really strong start. His Georgia Tech landed. He was the fifth highest rated recruit in the history of the school. He was the nation's number 2 all-purpose back coming out of high school for the 2020 college season. And he scored 14 touchdowns in his first 2 college seasons, ran for almost 900 yards as a sophomore. In his final 2 seasons at G-Tech, his playing time went down, and he gained 791 yards and 3 touchdowns. They brought in Jahmyr Gibbs, and, man, Gibbs was a hell of a player, and Gibbs was as good as advertised. He was dynamic. He is dynamic. Gibbs eventually would transfer to Alabama. But Mason, 5'11", 223 pounds in college, now probably closer to 230, just totally disappeared as a draft prospect. Wasn't invited to the scouting combine. Was not invited to any of the All-Star games. And it's really amazing. Adam Peters, who's John Lynch's right-hand man, Niners assistant GM, he credits the area scout, Warren Ball, who cross-checks the draft-eligible running backs. Here was the quote from Peters. He said, he dug him out, just watching a ton of tape, and said, I really like this guy. I remember he sent me a video cut up like 4 days before the draft. Watch this guy. So Peters watched him, looked at Mason. And then Anthony Lynn was looped in because he was the Niner running back coach to give another opinion. And then the Niners targeted Mason as an undrafted free agent. And Mason said he thought the team's outside zone system would enable him to kind of showcase the skill set that he had. And Peters said, hey, man, we thought he was right up there with everybody. So kudos to Warren Ball for finding him. And obviously, I think he's been a great fit for us. I mean, and then what did Mason do with the Niners? He came right in. He led them in rushing during the preseason, earned a spot on the 53-man roster over Trey Sermon, who happened to be a third-round draft choice. And then now is in year 2 in the system. And the Niners got themselves a hell of a football player. I mean, they really did. This guy reminds me of a poor man's Marshawn Lynch. He runs upright, so he does subject his body to hits, but he's got power. He's got power, a lot of power. And during the Georgia Tech Pro Day leading into the draft, he tested out really well. He had a sub-4.5 40-yard dash, put up 21 reps on the bench press, which would have tied him for the most of any of the running backs at the combine the year he was in the draft. But because the running back position has become so devalued and they didn't really view him as much of a threat in the passing game or as a blocker, he was like deemed late day 3, 6th-round pick, 7th-round pick. Instead, he winds up going undrafted. And look at what he is now. Look at what the guy can do. He's big. He's powerful. He's explosive. He's a really good talent. And I asked Kyle Shanahan after the game, I said, how good of a player is Jordan Mason? Could this guy be a starter in other teams' systems? Here's what Kyle had to say.
Mason, what do you think of Mason's touchdown run, and what's his potential, Kyle? I mean, is he a starting caliber back in another system?
Every time he gets out there and gets an opportunity, it looks like it. And to me, that's all that you can go off in this league. How does the film look? And who knows how good he can be, because every time he gets an opportunity, he does exactly what he needs to do and move the chains. Every time it's blocked, he gets more than what it's blocked for. And it was funny taking Christian out there at the end, not that close to the end. I think it was like 13 minutes. He's like, I feel like we're going to break one, though. Let me just break one. And we told him no, and JP went in for one play and broke one. So it was really cool to have him, though.
So there you go. That's what Kyle had to say about Jordan Mason. He likes him. The Niner running back coaches, Bobby T and Anthony Lynn, love him. I think you're going to see his role grow in the weeks ahead. When you look at like what James Conner was doing against Dallas a few weeks ago for the Arizona Cardinals, I see a lot of the same things that I see in James Conner, I see in Jordan Mason. Big, powerful, runs upright, runs through arm tackles. And then he's got better speed than you think, so guys take bad angles. That touchdown run where he busted one for like 26 yards out, he made the first guy miss and then showed the acceleration and just was gone at 230 pounds. So, I mean, this is a player. This is what we're talking about. This is why the Niners are the Niners, because not only do they have the deep collection of superstars, from Christian McCaffrey to Brandon Ayuk to Deebo Samuel to Trent Williams to George Kittle to Dre Greenlaw to Fred Warner to Javon Hargrave to Nick Bosa. They've got some of the NFL's best individual talents. But then you go to the back half of the roster, and they've got depth that's the envy of the league. Jordan Mason could probably start at running back for 10 teams in the NFL. On the Niners, barely gets off the bench, barely gets into the game. And when he does, he takes one to the house on a national TV game. And if you remember him last year with the big run against Seattle, the guy is a big man who can rumble. So I love what I see. I see Marshawn Lynch. And, Marshawn was great at Cal, terrific footwork, big back, went to Buffalo, didn't work out. Wound up in Seattle and became beast mode. Wound up being an incredible back with Seattle. Just a dominating back. Jordan Mason has that same kind of potential. He runs through arm tackles, great contact balance. He's not an elite receiver. He's not a crazy blocker. He's a running back, but a very good one. A very good one. And I think the 49ers are thrilled that they found this guy. And I guarantee you, Warren Ball, the area scout that found him, watched that last night and said, heck yeah, look at this kid. I dug him out. I watched the tape. I rolled it back and forth. I found this guy. I sent it to Peters. He sent it to Lynn. We signed him as an undrafted free agent, and now he's playing ball. And you can thank Warren Ball for that. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of The Krug Show. And thanks to all you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.